Getting rid of toxic people is one of the hardest yet most transformative decisions you can make. The sense of relief and lightness that comes when you distance yourself from a negative influence is liberating. However, before reaching this point, it's crucial to understand that living with a toxic person can affect us much more profoundly than we realize. It can drain our energy, undermine our self-esteem, and transform our outlook on the world. The mere act of being around someone like this can make you doubt yourself, feel worn out, and even develop anxiety symptoms. If this sounds familiar, it's likely because you've experienced the weight of a toxic relationship. But what exactly is a toxic person? Often, these individuals don't reveal themselves in an obvious manner. They can be friendly, helpful, and even show affection at times. Sometimes, they act as if they're trying to help, but they hide a motivation that ultimately brings more harm than good. This complicates the situation, as you may not even realize what's happening at first. However, over time, small signs begin to surface. You find yourself feeling drained after an encounter or conversation, and you notice that this person's behavior provokes a constant sense of unease. This is one of the main characteristics of a toxic person. They siphon your energy, rob you of your peace of mind, and leave you emotionally exhausted. You might be thinking of someone specific right now. It could be a friend, a coworker, a romantic partner, or even a family member. When these people are close to you, breaking off the relationship is even more challenging. The emotional bond, shared history, and concern for what others will think make the process much more painful and complex. But at some point, you need to ask yourself, what is the price of maintaining this relationship? Keeping a toxic person in your life often means compromising your emotional and mental health, your time, and even your personal development. The more you allow this person to stay, the more you feel your energy and peace being consumed. Why is it so difficult to cut ties with these people? One of the main reasons is manipulation. Toxic people are often skilled at controlling and manipulating the emotions of others. They know exactly how to evoke feelings of guilt and insecurity in those around them, creating a sort of emotional prison. These individuals can make you believe that the problem lies with you, that you are ungrateful, selfish, or even not good enough to demand respect. And, subtly, they use this guilt and insecurity as a means to keep you tethered to the relationship. Perhaps you have heard phrases like, "I'm just trying to help," or "no one cares about you like I do," which disguise control and manipulation as caring. To break free from this cycle, the first step is to identify who the toxic people in your life are. And for that, you must be very honest with yourself. Ask yourself, how do I feel after interacting with this person? Do they genuinely support me? Or are they always criticizing my decisions? Do they care about what I'm going through? Or does the conversation always revolve around them? Toxic people usually share a common trait. They are incapable of offering genuine support. Even when they try to disguise it with encouraging words, they are often more concerned with satisfying their own needs. In the moments when you need help the most, they are often too busy or downplay your problems. Another important aspect to consider is how these people affect your self-esteem. Toxic individuals are experts at undermining the self-confidence of others. They throw out disguised criticisms under the guise of sincere opinions, making comments that seem innocent but carry malicious intent. "I'm just being honest," or "I'm saying this for your own good," are common phrases that serve to justify actions that ultimately hurt you. Over time, these constant comments will make you start to doubt yourself. You might begin to think that perhaps you aren't good enough, or that you always need to change to please others. But here's a truth. No one, absolutely no one, deserves to be treated this way. If you feel inferior, criticized, or constantly devalued, it's a sign that this person may be harming your self-esteem. Once you identify these toxic people in your life, it's time to learn how to set boundaries. This step is essential to protect your mental and emotional health. Boundaries are barriers that define what you are willing to accept or not. However, for many, saying no or standing up for themselves feels like a daunting task, especially when the toxic person is close. The difficulty in establishing boundaries often stems from the fear of displeasing or the concern about the other person's reaction. But it's important to remember that boundaries are not a selfish act. They are an act of self-love. When you assert yourself, you are telling yourself that you deserve respect, and that you will not tolerate behaviors that harm you. Imposing boundaries can lead to conflicts, especially when the other person is used to crossing these lines. Toxic individuals frequently do not respect boundaries and often try to make you feel guilty for putting up barriers. But it's crucial to stand firm and not yield to these pressures. Toxicity thrives in environments where it finds freedom to act, and the more you establish boundaries, the less space it will have. This process requires courage, but it is an essential step. When you create these boundaries, the toxic person will have two options: either respect them or distance themselves. Often, just the act of establishing these boundaries is enough for the person to back off. Another fundamental aspect of this process is strengthening your self-esteem. This is crucial, as one of the main weapons of toxic individuals is to attack the insecurities and emotional vulnerabilities of those around them. The more you believe in yourself, the less vulnerable you become to manipulation and destructive criticism. Work on your self-esteem daily, recognize your qualities, and appreciate what you have that is good. If you need help, do not hesitate to seek the support of a therapist or talk to people who genuinely support you. Remember, no one has the right to undermine your self-confidence or make you doubt your own worth. Surrounding yourself with positive and truly supportive people is essential. Healthy friendships and relationships strengthen your confidence, encourage your growth, and help you cope better with challenges. To bolster your determination, try to recall the moments when a toxic person made you feel bad about yourself. These moments are proof that their influence is harmful. Recalling these memories helps reinforce your decision to distance yourself and reaffirms your right to be treated with respect. Additionally, you can seek examples of others who have made the same choice and managed to transform their lives. Often, hearing stories of those who successfully cut ties serves as inspiration and reinforces the idea that peace of mind is far more valuable than any bond with someone who brings negativity. It is also worth reflecting on the type of relationship you want to maintain moving forward. By freeing yourself from a toxic person, you create space for relationships that genuinely bring you well-being. This process of reflection helps you understand that not every bond is worth keeping, and that by prioritizing those who truly care, you enhance your own happiness. Clearly define the types of values and attitudes that you consider essential in a relationship, and start using them as criteria when building new connections. This practice can help you avoid similar future situations and foster more genuine and respectful bonds. Physical and emotional distancing can be challenging, but in many cases, it is necessary to completely break the influence of a toxic person. This may mean reducing contact or even cutting ties altogether. If, for example, this person is present on social media, it may be helpful to mute or remove them to avoid any contact or constant reminders. It is important to protect your space and your mind. Caring for your emotions also means taking measures to prevent your life from being invaded by memories that reopen wounds. After all, you are in a healing process, and every small action to limit this person's influence is a step toward recovery. Allow yourself to feel all the emotions that arise as you distance yourself. Sadness, relief, the sense of loss, and eventually peace are part of this process. Accepting and validating these feelings helps you process the end of the relationship and cope with the transformation it brings to your life. Often, we neglect our own emotions for the sake of others, but this is the time to prioritize what you feel. Acknowledge that suffering may be part of the journey, but it is temporary, and that, over time, you will feel stronger and freer to move forward. Finally, as you distance yourself from a toxic person, be prepared for a radical change in your life. In the beginning, the process of distancing may be painful. You might feel a mix of relief and grief, as if you were closing an important yet challenging chapter. Remember that this decision is a demonstration of self-care and courage. You are choosing your emotional health, your peace, and the chance for a lighter life. Over time, you will realize that the absence of this toxic person makes your life calmer. You will feel less burdened, more confident, and ready to focus on the things that truly matter. Remember that it is possible to create an environment where you only allow the presence of those who truly support and value you. Cutting ties with toxic people opens up space for new relationships and experiences. People who inspire you, encourage you, and share positive energy will contribute significantly to your personal growth. As you distance yourself from negative influences, your life becomes fuller and happier. After all, surrounding yourself with healthy people is one of the best choices you can make. So do not be afraid to take that step. This is an act of courage and respect for yourself.